Okay, let's begin. Okay, good afternoon to everyone. So here we go again. So we have to continue our exercise as usual. For today's topic, we will be discussing regarding the forward and backward calculations on establishing project schedule. Okay, let's move forward. Here we go. Planning and control management special topics. So our previous episode was part 4, session 10. Progress update 001, customizing Windows schedule daily analysis technique into the program update. And it was about preparation of report layouts. And now we have here our current episode, special topics also in session 2. So this topic is Primavera P6 schedule forward and backward calculation explained. Okay. So kindly subscribe, like, and share. Actually, our topic for today is not really included in our exercise outline, but I really convinced myself to tackle every topics that are needed to be understood before moving to the next topic, especially this topic because this is really very important to be understood when working with dates and schedules. Lucky for today's generation, because preparing a schedule and monitoring is pretty easy compared to my generation during my time when I experienced working the construction schedule manually. Okay, so let's replicate our mock-up program and rename it. So let's go to our Primavera P6. So now here is our mock-up program. Where is it? Oh, this one. Okay. Actually, I have already copied this one. So here it is. It is renamed by Forback. So actually, you are already familiar on how to copy or creating a project. Just a copy paste, simply a copy paste process. So now here is our program now. Anyway, we will delete this one and create another one. Okay, delete, and then okay, let's create another one for our topic for today's sample project. So let's copy this one, mockup, Control C and Control B, and then okay, okay. Be sure that everything here is the check mark is being checked so that everything will be copied into the replicated copy, right? Or the replicated copy of the source program. Okay. Okay, so let's rename this by into forback, meaning forward and backward calculation. Okay, so let's open it. Okay, so this is our previous episode, so never mind that. So we'll check the our, what do you call this, data date. We will change this to okay. Let's make it October. Right, and okay, this is okay. So that's fine. Now, assuming we are initiating the drafting of a program, and this mock-up program is the outcome, okay? And let's create an initial bar. We will call it as a draft plan bar for this draft schedule. So that means we are not considering the criticalities as long as the completion date adheres to the plan completion. So okay, so let's say we will create a what they call this We will save a layout. Actually, I have already here the layout for myself. Okay, cancel. Let's save a layout. Like for example, let's make it as okay, draft plan. Okay, that's enough, I think. Meaning we are just drafting first a program just to fit the duration as per the requirements. Okay. Okay, let's. And now we will show the plan bar here. Okay, so instead of this one, we will remove this one and we will change it into a plan bar. Okay, what is the, we'll go to dates. Okay, let's insert here the plan start. Okay, plan finish and plan start. Okay, let's put this into center. Okay, and then also here at the center. And then apply. Okay, let's change the bar into let's create a bar which is we call it as a plan bar. Do we have any here? Okay, let's create a bar, add, and then we will remove this one first. We will move everything. We will show only the draft plan bar. So let's say we'll put this as draft plan bar. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we will select here the plan bar. Okay, and then we will select here normal bar. Okay, and just simply we will select the bar type here as and we will just choose a block. Okay, and then apply. So now here is our plan bar. Okay, the problem here, our duration here is not really fitting, so we will adjust the time scale. So the time scale is project month, and it should start by data date. Okay, so it is already on the first month, or I mean on the first period. Okay, let's save it. I think we will change this to, I think, number of days. I will change this to number of days. Okay, we'll move it here. So as you can see here, it is 45 days. So assuming that we are required to finish this project in 45 days, so we will be having our draft plan schedule, and this is it. So meaning actually this is already a forward formation of the schedule. So we will be counting from the start going down to the finish line of the project. Okay, so this is called our draft plan program. I mean, delete this one. So this is our draft plan. So, okay, let's show this in our slide. Okay, here we go. So this is our, the slide version of presenting the calculation of the forward and backward calculations of the schedule. So now here is our draft plan as we have established in our Primavera here. So what we just did is we just present it in our what do you call this, in our slide. So if we look at the draft plan here, it has no much information, but only that the 45 days duration here as required is assumed fits by our draft plan. So how about the other types of schedule dates that would give us more information for the project teams? So we need to work on it. Nowadays, schedule calculation is not really a worry because Primavera P6 will do a lot for the schedules or for the schedulers or for planners and also for project managers. So, okay, let's do it. Let's compare now. Now we will go to Primavera again. Let's compare or establish a, what do you call this? A comparison of the plan, the early start and the early dates, early finish. The plan, start and finish, the early start and the finish dates, or the early dates and the start and finish dates. So let's show it here. Okay. Plan start, plan finish. We will go to early start. So finish, we need this one. The early start and the early finish. What is early finish? No, this is not. This is expected. What is the early finish? Plan start. Okay, early finish is already here. So how about the start? Here is the start. Okay, center. We'll put everything on center of the column. Okay. Take note, our purpose here is to compare the formation of the planned dates, the early dates, the start date, and the finish date. Okay. So here it is, the plan start, plan finish, early start, early finish, start and finish. So we will rectify again, modify the bars because this bar is only for the planned draft plan. So we will go back to bars again. So now we will be doing the exact, we will be considering the criticalities of the bars or of the activities. So let's say we will show the non-critical work, critical work, and okay, so our plan bar. So we don't have the plan bar here, so we have to create a bar for the plan bar. Okay, let's add non-critical plan bar. And then let's choose plan. Okay, and then here, activities, we have to choose the normal and non-critical. And be sure that it is all selected, not any selected. Apply and then okay. Okay, and then our bar here, we will be using the, okay, what color shall we put on the plan bar? I think let's say we'll be using this one for the what color shall we put in here? Let's say we will use the cyan for the non-critical, and then let's add again. Let's say we will use critical bar, non-critical bar, plan bar. So this now is critical. So we'll change it to plan bar, and this one is we have to filter it into normal because we are working on bar, and then critical, and then apply. So what color shall we put on critical? We will put a color, this is for the plan bar, right? So we will be using cyan. No. Let's say, for example, magenta. Okay. And then what else? We will put this down. We will create a bar for the early dates. So we will add more. So we will put in here, let's say non-critical early bar. Okay, non-critical. Okay, early bar. And then we will check for this one, early bar. And then the filter is normal and also non-critical. Then apply, then okay. So we will use, the problem here is the color. So how about, okay, we will make this, what color shall we put in here? It's difficult to find a different color for different bars. So let's say if we will use the, okay, this one. That is for non-critical. I think this one is maybe fine also. And then we will create another one for the non-critical early bar. Control C, I mean critical early bar. Okay. Delete, and then critical early bar. So this is the early bar. And this should be normal and critical. Okay, then let's change this one into, okay, we will make this color as, let's say, for example, this one. Okay, early bar, and so I think this is fine. This one, they have a different color so that we can distinguish each type of these bars. So let's apply it. Okay, but nothing appears here. Okay, there's no changes. You know why? Because we have to assign a row for each of this one. Maybe the rows are overlapping, so we cannot see the others. Okay, let's see, current bar, plan bar, early bar, or we might be missing. So we will put the plan bar on Or is our plan bar here? Oh, this one. So we will put this on top. We will put this on top. Okay. Okay. So our plan bar, we will put it on row 1. Okay, that's correct. Plan bar on row 1. Our current bar would be on row 2. The critical is row 2 also. And how about our early bar? So our early bar, we will put it on row 3. Okay. So take note of this one. Okay, and then apply. So you see, so we can see here already the let's make the what do you call this? The row height be a little bit bigger. So let's make it as, let's say 30. It's fine. Okay. So here, the top bar is the plan bars. Okay. Anyway, why it is still black? Okay, we will remove this drop bar. Okay, there we go. So the top bar is the plan bars. So meaning this color magenta on the top bar is the critical plan bar. And then the second bar is the current bar. The color is red. This is the critical for the current bar. And the non-critical for our plan bar is the color is cyan. And the non-critical for our current bar is the color is green. Here it is. Okay. But the color of the critical bar is red. Now on the third row is the early bar, in which the color the color of the critical bar is orange, and what is the color of the non-critical bar? So actually there is no, when we look at the non-critical bar or the early bar, the color is this one. So that is a light blue. So this is the color of the non-critical bar for the early bars. Okay. Okay, so let's show it in our slide. Okay, in our slide, we can see it like this. Okay. Okay, here in a draft plan, in our draft plan, we have here the plan finish, the calculation is equals to plan start plus original duration. So this is the plan start plus the original duration here, it will be equals to the plan finish. Okay, so let's move forward. So this is the comparison of our plan dates, meaning the plan start and plan finish, the early dates, meaning the early start and early finish, and the current date, which is the start and finish. Okay. So the row 1 or the top bar is really equals to, I think this is the color here is black, right? Okay, we will change the color of our Primavera as black for the, because if you can see here, the critical here is black for the plan bar. Okay, anyway, so that is the comparison. And no worries about the color as long as we understand this one. So the top bar is the plan bar. And okay, that's all. The second bar is, the second row is the current bar. And the third row, the bottommost row is the early start bar. Okay, next. Now by showing the early dates only, which is the early start and the early finish, we can say that this is the considered as the forward formation of the schedule, where the calculation is done from this project start forward to the project completion. Okay, if we will look at this one, we will be showing only the early start and early finish, because this is really the calculation starts on the forward calculation of the schedule. So we will remove the first we will save this as what uh, planned early dates, planned early uh, start and finish dates. That is the comparison. So let's save that. And now we will save another for the forward calculation, which means showing only the will be showing only the early start and the early finish. So forward calculation, or we can say schedule forward calculation. Okay. Okay. So we will remove the what do you call this? The bars. We will show only the early bars. So non-critical, we will remove this one, the plan bars. We will remove the plan bar. We will remove this one. So we will be showing only the early bar. Okay. Then apply. Okay. So this is the early bar. Anyway, but it looks like some what is shown here in our okay. So this is the early bar. This is the critical bar of the early bars, and then this is the non-critical bars. Okay. So that means this is the forward calculation, because the calculation will start from here down to the required completion date. Okay. So that means early start from here plus the duration, early start plus duration, early start plus duration, early start plus duration, up to the completion will give you the forward calculation, which is the 45 days to complete the project. Okay. So I am talking now only for the forward calculation of the schedule. Backward calculation will be followed. Okay, so we will show this in our PowerPoint slide. Okay, so let's go to the PowerPoint. Okay. Anyway, here is the calculation for the comparison. The early start is equals to plan start. The early finish equals to early start plus original duration. So this is it. The early start is equals to the planned start. All right, and then the early finish here in the column here is equals to the early start plus the duration here. Okay, and the start date is equals to the early start. So meaning this start date is equals to the early start here, and the finish date is equals to the start plus the original duration. Okay, let's move forward. Now, let's start for the forward. We are talking about here for the forward calculation that we have just execute in our Primavera here. We will just, this one, we will just reflect this one in motion. into our slide so that we can really understand how the forward calculation is being calculated. Okay, so let's start from here. Okay. Okay, here is the first critical bar, early bar, but color here is already pink, but our color here is red, so we will change this into pink, or I mean magenta, not really pink. So this one, the critical is magenta. Okay, and how about the color of the anyway? Okay, apply. So that's magenta. Okay, let's move forward. So here note, there is a note here that early finish of the activity is equals to early start of the activity plus original duration. So that means it is here. Early start plus the original duration. It will give you the early start of the, the early finish of the activity. So here is the calculation. So early finish is 1st of September plus the duration will give you the 10th September for the early finish of the activity. So let's move next. So here is the next critical bar, early bar, meaning this one followed by the next. And then the early start of this bar is equals to 18 September. So this means this is 18, or is it? Okay. This one, the finish of this one, which is the 18 September plus 1 plus 0. So it will give you 19 of September. So meaning this is 19 of September is the early start of this activity. Okay. There's a matter of the finish date of this bar, which is 18 September plus 1 plus 0, which is the log. If there is log, then you have to consider it. Okay, so now we will go to the early finish. This is the 19, or meaning the early start of this activity plus 18, which is the duration. So we'll give you a 6th of October, which is this one. Okay. So the late start, no, we are not talking of the late start yet. So the early start, it's here, and the early finish is here. Okay. We are only talking when it comes to forward calculation. We are talking of the early dates. Okay. Later, we will be talking for the late dates. That is for backward calculation. Okay, let's move. So here is the next critical path, critical activity. So here is the early start and the early finish calculation. Okay. Okay, the same thing as in here. So the early start and early finish is here, calculated. Now, since the project is already finished, so it is 45 days long. So this will be the longest part of this project, which has a longest path duration of 45 days. So that means this 45 days will be used, actually is the longest path, right? And this will be used for our backward calculation, meaning we have to move backward from here. From this completion, we will be moving backward calculation. So, okay. So now we will do the backward calculation. Anyway, we will do it in Primavera first. Okay, let's go to Primavera and then apply. Let me see the color of this. Okay, anyway, we have not yet just. Okay. Now in Primavera, what is shown here in our Primavera is only the forward calculation. Now we will be showing here the backward calculation, which is the late dates of the activity. Okay. So we will be showing the column here, late start and late finish. Date, late start, I will put it here, and then the late finish. Okay, edit. Okay, and then apply. Let's start and let finish. So meaning the range of the late start going down to the late finish is called the late bar. Okay. So we will create a bar for it. So let's say what color do we need to for the late bar? Okay, so we will create for the late bar. So here we have here our the early bar. So now we will be creating a late bar. So we will add, let's say, non-critical late bar. No, no, no. Actually, there is no such thing as a non-critical. Yeah, non-critical late bar. And then next, we will add the critical late bar. Critical late bar. So we will use here the late bar, right? Okay, late bar. And here, this should be normal but non-critical. Apply. And then here is the normal but critical. Okay, and then apply. Okay. So what color shall we put on our late bar? Okay, let's say we will be using a color, different color. For the non-critical, let's say we will use the difficult to use another colors here. Let's say non-critical, we will use the yellow. And then for the critical, we will use the what? We will use the yellow. Let's say we will be using the okay, this one. Okay. Then we will put it in row. This is our okay. We will locate our early bar into let's say call row 1. Okay. And then our late bars, we will put it under row 2. Okay, and then apply. You see? So we can see here already two type of bars, which is the early bar at the top portion of the row and the late bar at the bottom portion of the row. So meaning when it comes to the critical activities, so the critical activity of the early bar is the same as the critical activity of the late bar. So meaning they are almost, they are all parallel for all the criticals, right? Because first, when we calculate the forward, here is the magenta, the top bar. It is the forward bar. Then after that, from here, the forward bar, we start calculating from here at the start of the project. But in the late bar, we are start calculating from here, from the finish of the project, going back. Okay? So that's the reason. And these are the non-critical bars. Okay? So let's show it in our, what do you call this? Slide how in to show the motion. to demonstrate it by motion, okay? So now we will be, our forward bar is already complete. So we will be moving to the backward bar. Okay, let's do it. Okay, anyway, we will be, the non-critical for the forward bar is here. It is also calculated. So meaning it is non-critical, so this is the color, different color, but still, these are the forward bar. Okay, and these are the early start and the early finish. Okay, so next, another non-critical bar of the forward bar or early bar. This is it. And the next, okay, here. So we will be starting here. For the late bar, we'll be starting from here at the end of the project. And note that the late finish of the last activity is equal to the early finish of the last activity. So meaning the early finish here of the early finish of this bar or the top bar here, which is the early bar, is the same as the early late finish of the late bar. Okay, so that means we will be counting the calculation here from the at this finish date of these two bars. So going backward. Okay. Okay, let's go. So here is now the late finish of the late bar, which is equals to the early finish of the early bar. Now here is the calculation of the late bar or late start of the activity, which is equals to the late finish of the activity, which is this one, less the original duration, which is this one, and then plus 1. So it will give you the late start of the activity. So this is it here. Okay, can you see it here? This is the late start. And next, it will be going backward. Okay, so the bar is moving backward. So this is the second to the last late bar. And take note also that late finish of the predecessor, okay, late finish of the predecessor activity is equal to the late start of the successor activity minus 1 minus log. So meaning the late finish of this bar here is equals to, since this is considered as the predecessor and this is considered as the successor. So the late finish here is equals to the late start of the successor. So meaning the late start of this successor is this one, which is 15 days, 12 October, where we can see it here in the table, activity table. The late start is 12 October. And then less 1, so that will become 11. Am I right? So this is it. And the early start, the calculation is this one. No, this one. Okay, so moving forward. Okay, this is the early start and the late start and late finish of this activity, of this bar. Okay, moving forward. So we have here again, let's start and late finish. So as you can see, the bar of the late bar is moving backwards. So from here, going here, and of course the next will be going to somewhere else here. Okay. Okay. So these are the calculations. Next. Okay. Next is the non-critical bar or non-critical late bar. So this is also moving backward or calculated backward. Okay, here is the second non-critical late bar. Okay, I think this is already complete for the bars. So here we have here a note that the total float depends on the 3 choices at the schedule general options. Okay. But our current choice here is total float is equals to float equals late finish less the early finish. So I will show you this in Primavera P6. This is it. So when you we go to schedule and then option. So under the general option, we can see here the choices for computing the total float. So the calculation of the float of your project will depend on your choice in here. So here we have three choices: the start float, finish float, and the smallest. But usually I am always using the finish float because my theory here or my point here is that we are always concerned of the finish of the project. Okay, so we are using finish float now. Okay, let's go again to, okay, here we go. So I hope you understand this one. So this is the total float. Okay, so when the total float is 0, that means that is the longest within the longest path. But here, if you look at here, the total float here is 1. So that is why the bar here are not critical. But it has only 1 day to sleep and it will become critical. Okay, so this is 1 day. Once this slips, or if you increase duration on this one, it will become critical. When during the progress update, when this slips for 1 day or delayed by 1 day, so it will become critical. Okay, and also the free float. Okay, let's go to the free float here. Free float is the duration an activity can be delayed without delaying the early start of its successor activity. So which is equals to successor early start minus the activity's early finish, less 1. So, okay. Okay, I hope everybody understands. This presentation is really, I prepared this one to be able to be understood very carefully. Okay, what else? Let's, if you look at the A30 here, the early finish is 10 of October, and A1050 here, which is its successor, the early start is what? 12, right? So that means it is 1 day gap. So that is the early, that is what we call the free float, meaning the finish of the activity once it has a float of a float duration before it will impact the start of its successor. So this is the example, this one, 10 of October going to 12 October. So that means 11 of October is the free float, where it can, this activity A1030 can slip without affecting the start of its successor. Okay, I think this is fair enough. And we will be taking a break here. Okay, our next slide or episode is also the same on special topics, session 3. This is about Primavera P6 activity dates explained, first segment. Okay, so we will be explaining the different type of activity dates. So since there are lots of activity dates in Primavera P6, so we need to understand each of it, because we will be getting confused because of before, when I was a beginner on Primavera P6, I'm really confused over so different types of dates. But at least in our topics now. In our presentation, at least you have already known some of the dates, the early start, early finish, late start, late finish. Meaning the early start and early finish is the forward calculation of the schedule, and the late start and late finish or late bar is the backward calculation of the schedule, where the total float are calculated. Okay. So next is see you on this next episode, and thank you guys. Kindly subscribe, like, and share. Okay, it's the end of our session. God bless to all and goodbye.